Bhagwan had some other plan for me. He said, "Arey, you know, I told you to ask $1 million, and you're asking me $10." So he gave me $1 million. We had a woodpecker. He pecked 300 holes in my rocket, and that guy, he wanted to have a baby with his wife, I guess. So, but we had to bring the rocket back. $1 million delay per day. You won't believe this. We put balloons with the woodpecker, not woodpecker, but owl face, and put it on the launch pad.
Hello and welcome to our podcast. I'm Neha Pandey, and our today's guest is someone truly inspiring, Dr. Ravi Margasahayam, NASA's former aerospace engineer and recipient of Silver Snoopy Award. Known as the Astronaut Maker, he helped launch over 700 astronauts, including Kalpna, Chavla, and even mentored Sunita Williams. He also worked on NASA's historic launch pads 39A and 39B, which were used for Apollo moon mission. From growing up in India to reaching space science at the top level, his journey is filled with inspiration and wonder. We're excited to have him with us today. Welcome, Dr. Margasahayam.
Thank you. It's a great pleasure and honor to be with this university. But I'm passionate about kids and inspiring the kids and students and stuff like that. So that is my goal in life now.
Even it's our honor. So to begin with, we'd love to know, as I've mentioned before, that you've launched over 700 astronauts. How did this Astronaut Maker title come to be?
Yeah, it's a great question. So, as you know, we are not astronauts. We are the ground staff. And astronauts, they call them right staff. So we are the right staff on the ground. Really, we don't get a lot of credit and stuff like that in the long run because nobody knows us, But again, things are changing. And finally, one day, Dr. Abdul Kalam came to our office, and me being the NASA VIP tour guide, I got a chance to take him around. So earlier, I had chance with Shah Rukh Khan and on the Swadesh movie, but taking Dr. Abdul Kalam was like the ultimate, And the best part was my dad was with me, my father. So because I'm a VIP tour guide, I can take a member of my family, just one. So I took my dad. He was elated, So as we went around the launch pad and about 2.5, 3 hours of tour, I finally, we came to a place where we could get some coffee. And then he out of the blue, he says to my dad, or both of us, he says, "Oh, I'm jealous of your son, envious of your son." My dad almost had a heart attack. He said, "Sir, aap to itne bade aadmi hai. So what are we talking about my tiny son?" So then he said, "Yeah, Bhagwan ne mujhe sab kuch diya. I became a president of India. I'm a missile man, rocket man. But one thing God didn't give me is launching humans to space. And your son got a chance to launch the first Indian woman. Not only that, he launched 700 people to space. Yeah. So he is the real astronaut maker of NASA."
Oh, that's great. How was it feeling when you met Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam?
Initially, you're extremely you're slow. You want to make sure you're cautious. You're also you have to be technically competent to what you say and not say. You get intimidated. Sorry, I've been talking too much. So, but it's important that, because we are well trained, right? So I've done many kings and queens and ambassadors, 4-star generals, NATO ministers, like Margaret Thatcher, Prince Charles. So, you have to have that courage, I call it the self-esteem. So we do exhibit self-esteem, otherwise I won't be on that job. So a lot of times, it is a big challenge to be with these people. But I think over a period of 30 years, I mastered the art. So I can talk to a kid who is like handicapped and 5 years old who knows nothing about NASA. Or I can talk to a rocket scientist and like Pamela Melroy is my astronaut mentor.
Yes, sir.
So, I have mastered the art of communication, art of storytelling, diplomacy, knowledge building. So you put all that together and make yourself the best in the world, I call that as a gold standard, So your name has to be gold standard, and that's what people look at you. They don't look at you as, who you are, what you are, but they look at your knowledge and how you can explain things to people.
Yes, sir.
And storytelling is one of the biggest art of selling yourself. So.
Okay. So next question is, speaking of astronauts, what made Kalpna Chavla and Sunita Williams so special to work with?
I don't want to say they are special to me just because they're Indians, but they're special to me because of their knowledge and, their passion towards space. So my wife says if I cut Ravi here, no blood comes out, only NASA comes.
Okay.
So same thing with Kalpna Chavla or any of our astronauts. I cannot compare one person with the other, and we should compare. Each one has its own traits, expertise and knowledge and stuff like that. And I never want to put down anybody. Each astronaut brings his own expertise, skills, and we're a team, so we don't put down anybody, put up anybody. We just get the job done. My job is to launch the rocket, bring the astronauts, launch them safely, bring them back safely. So, yeah. But I think Kalpna Chavla would say that because she was Indian, and she also used to put a picture of the space shuttle inside her locker room in Karnal or somewhere she went to college, and it is nice to dream about that rocket or a plane. That hey, one day I want to be part of that. Yeah. So I think, and Sumi is I think she had more appeal because of being born in America, and American kids are brought differently. Yeah, my parents, my dad and my mom brought me up differently, so I was always afraid of things. So fear was a big factor for me. Whereas Sunny Williams, children, kuch bhi kar lenge.
Okay. So she had that confidence?
Both. Kalpna Chavla also. Again, don't forget, coming from India and going to the top of NASA, it's just not a joke, And yes, as I was telling in the audience, I said, Leonardo da Vinci, he never got to fly, but he made helicopters.
Yeah.
And my helicopter is flying on Mars right now. So that tells you that, and I worked in Boeing helicopters in America. So I know about helicopters and I know what his passion. Same with Werner von Braun, he never went to space. And I think, as I told you, and I saw the movie Sangam and wanted to become a pilot. It never happened, but Bhagwan had some other plan for me. He said, hey, I told you to ask $1 million and you're asking me $10? So he gave me $1 million. That's not money, but I'm talking about value, a value create to the world. And I think that's the way we have to look at each astronaut. So Kalpna had that drive, and just like me. I wanted to prove that I'm the best in the world in whatever I do. And I have qualification, degrees, but also education, knowledge, travel, everything I put together to make me best. Well, also I should say that we had good mentors, like my mentor is Pamela Melroy. She's the one who gave me my Silver Snoopy Award. The pin goes to space, comes back with her. And out of 1 million people, it's just only like few people get it per year. So, I think both were daring, dynamic, but Suni was one notch higher. Well, Kalpna would have been, but Suni being born in, I was not born in America, I was born in Mumbai. So, same with Kalpna, she was not born in America. So, but I don't think that mattered to us. Yes, I'm not a rich man like Bill Gates or Steve Jobs or, Satya Nadella or whatever. But I've seen billion stars and I've done so much that no money can buy that. My experience in NASA for 30 years, no amount of money can buy it, because I came at a point in life and I was a nobody and made somebody out of me. And that's what I tell people around. me now that like you.
That's really inspiring. Sure. What's one launch moment you never forget? Something that gave you goosebumps?
Goosebumps, good question. So, yeah, there are many incidences like that, and a couple of times I would say that everything in the rocket, 3 million parts, everything has to come together and get ready to launch, and suddenly we have the countdown from T minus 13, 14 seconds, because that's when we start putting a lot of water on the launch pad. And T minus 6.5 seconds, we light that liquid rocket engine, liquid oxygen, liquid hydrogen. Then the solid comes into picture at T minus 0, which is the 0 point. So at that point, something went wrong in the whole system. And there are 6 computers on the rocket, spatial. They shut the whole thing down. T minus 1 second, 1.5 seconds to be precise. Something went wrong and they shut the whole system. If we had 1 second more, we would have lifted off and would have had a catastrophe. So the 6 computers, they have, 6 or 7. So 3 that I is per you, the main computer boss. So these guys fight with each other and finally the boss says, okay, go or no. So, that was like shocking to me because it just told me that, that rocket could fall on his face and just start coming towards me, So, yeah, that is the most difficult part of the job, to put everything. That's why I tell people, like you have a car, look at the car, not just by the tires or the engine or whatever, look at the whole system. So systems engineering is very important. Multidisciplinary knowledge is very important. So when you mix all that, that's the portion to be the best in what you do, So that was one time we had a alligator wanted to go on the launch pad and we had to stop. One time we had a woodpecker. He pecked 300 holes in my rocket, and that guy, he wanted to have a baby with his wife, I guess. So, but we had to bring the rocket back. $1 million delay per day. And but if we had a problem, it would be loss of life and equipment and all that. So just like Kalpna Chavla died because of one small fall. So and then finally, you won't believe this. We put balloons with the woodpecker, not woodpecker, but owl face, and put it on the launch pad because owls are predators for woodpeckers. But we can't bring a woodpecker, owl, and train them. It's not a dog. So those are funny days like that, I think the most important one was even the last launch, STS-135, which is the last mission of the space shuttle. Around T minus 31 seconds, something went wrong and everything dropped up. And we are thinking, oh my God, we spent so much time. Because sometimes we spend like months together, to get ready. Each launch is different. And, there's no one good thing except that one time one of the rocket boards didn't want to break and everything stopped. That was a scary moment. If there's a fire on the launch pad, there's a problem. So
So, alright. With this, our episode of this podcast came to an end. I would like to thank Dr. Margasahayam. Thank you for sharing your journey with us. Your story is not just about dreaming big, but also inspiring. And never giving up, I would say. Until next time, I would tell you guys, keep your eyes on the skies and remember the universe is always listening. This is Neha Pandey signing off.